everyone, so this week's project is going to be our bigger project, which was mentioned in the supply video, which are the stacked pumpkins. So for this project you're going to need a base. Your base can be any shape that you prefer. It can be a square base, round base, you can use a planter, you can use just a regular pot that you would put a plant in, just whatever you prefer. Now for my particular project, my base is going to be this metal little planter. So you saw in that video, you can see now, this one I picked up at Goodwill. It was $7.99. And if you like something like this that's in metal, a lot of times you can find these at like Hobby Lobby or the at-home store. And of course, just look for shape. There's always paint. You can do whatever you need to make it match and work for you. Now the next thing you're going to need are 3 pumpkins. This is going to be a large piece that's going to be from the floor. Now you can do this in a smaller scale as well, but this is going to be like a main piece that I add for my living room. So I'm using larger pumpkins. This large pumpkin was purchased at Michael's. This is normally $19.99, but you know, it's time for them to make room for Christmas, even though it is not even October 1st yet. So these will be on sale. They're 50 to 60% off normally right now. If you happen to be on an off week, they don't have a sale. Of course, use your 40 or 50% coupons off of their website. And then for my middle pumpkin, I'm using one that's taller, a little bit more narrow. This one also normally priced at $19.99. This one again was 50% off when I bought it, but right now they're doing up to 60% off on most weeks. And then coupons. And then we have this little baby, this little teeny tiny orange one. He is normally $9.99, but of course 50% off. So if you don't have a Michael's that's nearby or it's not convenient, you can also find these pumpkins at Walmart, and you can find them at Hobby Lobby. They're going to be the ones that say craft pumpkins. Watch out on your materials though. A lot of these look very similar to some that they have that are styrofoam inside. You do not want the styrofoam ones. It is a ton of a mess because they're dense styrofoam. And as I mentioned before, I do try to get a lot of transitional items. I don't want to make something this large and it'll only be for the one holiday. This is going to transition into Thanksgiving. So although predominantly black and silver are the colors that I use for my Halloween decor, with these I'm going to keep them whites, creams, and silvers. I'll go with the black, and once we transition over to fall, I can replace just some ribbons and, you know, add some fall leaves and things like that, and these will be more versatile, especially because this is one of our more expensive projects. Now because I'm going to be staying with creams and silvers and whites, I have my Rust-Oleum. This one is titanium silver. Now if you watch the other project with the skeleton and it had that really nice sheen on it, the skeleton on the stand with the wings, this is that same spray paint. So if you did that project with me, we don't have any new costs. If you did not do that project, it'd be about $6 for your spray paint. Now the other one I'm using just to have more variety as well is the specialty metallic. This one's also Rust-Oleum. Gives you a really shiny, like mirrored finish. This one again is going to be $5 to $6. Now these are sometimes located in a different area than the normal spray paints. So you may have one aisle for spray paints, and I know in Lowe's they split it up. So maybe on your regular paint aisle, this is going to be next to like your Martha Stewart collection and things like that. It's going to be by the really large metallic paints. Now also because these have more of a cream color and I want a white, I'm also going to use a bright white. Now the bright white I'm using, this one's also Rust-Oleum. It is just a flat white. Now again, if you have done other projects, we've already used this before. If you don't have it though, this is going to be just under $3. This one is not going to be located next to the cans of paint. When you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, this is going to be next to the Rust-Oleum spray paints. It's going to be mid-aisle. You'll see whites and blacks. The other thing that you'll need is going to be the painter's tape. Now the painter's tape you're only going to need if you're doing like I am, where I'm going to do multicolored pumpkins. And this is going to be just to tape off the different sections. And then of course you will need foamies. The foamies are going to be so you can apply the paint onto the pumpkins for anything that you're not spray painting. Once all of your pumpkins are painted, they'll look however you would like. These are how I did mine. Keeping with creams, whites, and silvers, because I'm going to use these both for Halloween and for Thanksgiving. So try to keep them pretty neutral, but with a little pop. That way they blend with the other touches of silver that I have for the Halloween decorations. So next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your base. Again, that's whatever you choose. It can be a base similar to this, like a planter. It can be a pot, just whatever you prefer. Then you're going to start stacking your pumpkins. So you're going to just do this based on however you personally like it. I'm doing the wider pumpkin at the bottom, and then the skinny, and then the small. Now, if you'd like to be able to make this to where it disassembles easily for storage after the holidays, the way that I'm going to stack them is I cut holes in the bottom here. I just cut it large enough to fit the stem of the pumpkin below. And that way it'll just sit, but it'll be stable. It's not going to be as wobbly. This is actually wobbling because of this. And then I did the same with the small one. That way I can just put it up. And once you have everything painted out and the pumpkins are the way that you would like, then you're going to decorate your pot or planter. And for mine, it has this little design. It's like a harlequin pattern. I'm going to go ahead and use a fine paintbrush to paint all the lines out, and then I'll add some little rhinestones to that in the corners. That way it'll help to incorporate with the other items they already have that have the silvers and the little blings on them. That way we can make everything nice and cohesive. I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, so now that I have my planter painted, I did little white lines in the harlequins like I said, and then you use some of the E6000 to put the little blingies on the corners. And then once you have that done and your planter is the way that you would like it to look, you're then going to place your pumpkins inside and just arrange them the way that you like. Now that you have your pumpkins in place, you may have little gaps, like I have little gaps at the corners. You can fill those in with all kinds of different things. I think I'm going to fill mine in with creepy cloth. So again, this is just from Dollar Tree or 99-cent store. It's pretty much everywhere. I'm just going to take that and kind of drape it around. Well, here is the finished product. At least this is how mine looks. And as always, all of our projects will be a little bit different just depending on what you found for a base, shapes of the pumpkins that you chose, and the colors. Alright everyone, that wraps up this week's project, which are stacked pumpkins and base. And again, the great thing about this one is this is one of the projects that we're going to reuse when we swap everything out for our Thanksgiving decor. Also, if you do have any questions or comments or would like to share your projects, you can put those in the comments below. And as always, for the latest and greatest, make sure that you subscribe. Thank you everyone that has subscribed so far. I do appreciate your support, and I will see you guys next week.